Charlie, and if you haven't joined me before, I am an online English teacher. Today I want to talk about time management. If you've just got started, it can be really hard to manage your time as an online teacher. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I've definitely been learning a lot along the way. So here are some tips I have learnt so far. Number one is calendar blocking. I use Google Calendar, which I will show you a little bit just here. I found this tip on Amy TV. She's really good for helping motivate you with managing your time, being your own boss, getting the life you want and being successful at it. So I would recommend her channel for tips on general self-employment advice. I used to be old-fashioned. I really like writing and I'm a sucker for stationery. Like, I am a paper chase marketer's dream. I will buy anything with rose gold with a cactus on it. It's ridiculous. But I was resistant to use the calendar in my phone because I was like, oh, I'll never look at it, I'll never use it. And then after watching some tutorials on the internet about how to manage your time and block your time, I gave it a go and now I can't look back. Literally, you block in the time you're going to spend on Netflix, the time you're actually teaching, the time you need to get all the other stuff done, you put your every meal in there. It sounds like a bit of a regimented, boring way to live, but it really isn't. It helps me. If you're a list writer and you're the kind of person that enjoys being organised, I'm sure you will love it. And I always keep Saturday completely free. It's just blocked as a day off where I can not live by the calendar. I'm not getting reminders on my phone all day. I can just do what I want. That kind of keeps me sane. The second tip is to get up early. Yeah, some people will be grimacing at that, like, man, I became my own boss to lie in and do whatever I want when I want. Trust me, if you search getting up at 5 a.m. in YouTube, tons of advice will come up from very successful people about how it works for them. Luckily, I'm a little bit of one of those annoying morning people anyway, but I pushed myself into getting up at 5:30 a.m. each morning. I know you might be thinking, ouch, that's early. When you get in that routine and you have these hours in the morning to yourself, the house is quiet, no one else is up yet, you've got space to think and do things like yoga or read, just take your time to eat your breakfast and have a cup of tea. It just sets you up for the rest of the day. If you just get up in a rush and you throw your clothes on and get straight out behind the computer and you're like, whew, it's that set your mentality of feeling like, ugh, drained for the rest of the day. Give it a try. Look into it more about the benefits of getting up at 5 a.m. The third tip when you're a new teacher is how to best set your schedule. You can't just think, I'm just going to work when I want, because that's the whole point of it. The truth is, to get clients and to get reliable regular students, you're going to have to work when works for them. My working week is Sunday to Thursday, because when I started with Dada, they recommended that I do at least one weekend day because you get more bookings. And it's true. Even if my regulars cancel, I always get trials on a Sunday. It's busy. I know I'm going to get a full whack of pay for that day. The same with Cambly. I used to just do my Dada shift on a Sunday, but then I realised a lot of people do tend to book Sunday nights. It makes sense to be available for the time when they're available, and I'm more likely to get a booked schedule rather than booking a big block of time out on a Tuesday afternoon, which always never seems to be that popular, and then I'm just sitting around waiting for appointments that aren't going to happen. When you're setting your schedule, you need to test the waters. Don't think it's set in stone. It can be changed, but within reason. So when you work for yourself as a teacher or any other kind of service provider, see what works for you. So it's up to you whether you teach in the morning or the afternoon. The joy of being an online English teacher is it's a break time for someone somewhere in the world, so you're likely to get some appointments. Sometimes are more popular than others. You should be reactive to your students, but don't be a pushover. It's easy if you get a student that's really charming and they have an appointment with you at, say, 4 o'clock and they're like, oh, Charlie, I really enjoyed this chat, but I'm normally at work at this time. Can we do it at like 8 o'clock instead? Can I just book you for like an hour every single night for 5 nights a week at 8 o'clock? You can't say yes to everything. Sometimes you find you bend over backwards for a student because you think they're a good student and they're enthusiastic and have a lot of energy, just to find that you clear your night, sit down, and they don't turn up. Be reactive, but not a pushover. One tip that I need to take for time management is to chase up reservations before they happen, especially with new students. Look at your schedule for the day and just set a bit of time each morning to contact them and just confirm that they're going to be at the appointment later that day. My fifth tip is don't forget admin. This is the one thing that you have a benefit from when you work for someone else. Your salary just pays for everything you've got to do that day. I mean, let's be honest, some days we can hardly do any work at work in an office. You get the bare basics done, but you're distracted, you're talking to friends, and you might not be a whole lot productive. If you're a really good worker, I hope I didn't offend your ears, but it's true. So you're paid to answer your emails, to chase up invoices, to chase up clients, to work on a website. It's all paid for hourly. That's the thing about being self-employed, is you need to set time each week for your admin. Each day, actually, for your admin. You need to plan lessons, you need to answer emails, you might have your own website that you need to curate, you need to write student appraisals, set student homework, and you're not going to get paid for it. But that's why the hourly rate for companies where you especially teach children is quite high. That's kind of accounting for the fact that you aren't just working those 3 hours a day, you're working a bit longer. The other thing to factor in is finance. You're going to need time to manage your finances. You're going to need to keep track of everything you're getting and spending for the tax round. Okay, so they are my tips to getting started being an online teacher. Block your calendar, get up early, decide what schedule works for you, set your appointments but be reactive, and don't forget to account time for admin and finance. One bonus tip I should say as well is don't forget to account time for fun. You need to exercise, you need to get outside, you need to talk to people that aren't a student or a client of yours for your own sanity. If you found this video useful, you can subscribe here. Next week we'll be talking about teaching for Cambly, and if you think of anything else you want to know about being your own boss or teaching, pop a comment in below. I will always read them and respond. There is also a link in the description to my blog if you'd like to read about teaching hacks or about travel and budgeting and lifestyle tips. There's also a link there for applying to teach with Dada or Cambly if you are interested. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're one step closer to being your own boss.